Welcome to SoDak Chat, Representative John Hughes. So nice to have you here. John Hughes is from District 13. He's a state house representative. And for the people who are not in District 13, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Certainly, Bobby. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I was born and raised in Huron in South Dakota and went through public school there, high school, then attended South Dakota State University, graduated, attended law school, completed law school there at the University of Nebraska, practiced law in Omaha for 2 years. Then my wife and I relocated to Sioux Falls, where I've been an active private practitioner in a law practice for 42 years. Total of 44 years of law practice, covering a wide range. We have 3 boys that are all grown. We have 4 grandchildren, and our family is well established, and we've lived in District 13 for, let me see, probably over 20 years. We've lived in District 13, and my law firm is located in District 13.
Very, very nice. Wow, so you've got a lot of experience as a lawyer.
You could say that, yes. A broad range of, I've tried jury cases, I've done sophisticated financial institution work and banking, credit card processing, merchant banking. I've represented a Major League Baseball agent.
Wow.
Did a salary arbitration in New York many years ago. Just a wide-ranging practice. We really highly value the adoption practice that we've had for about 35 years. So that covers most of it.
Yes. Well, I think South Dakota feels very lucky to have you as one of their legislators, especially with that level of experience in law. That is just amazing. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get started on some questions really quick here. And it has been determined that South Dakota legislators are referred to as citizen legislators.
Yes.
But many legislators have full-time employment with their own businesses, nonprofits, and industries that are highly regulated, that in turn receive federal and state funding. How do you feel about this in your expert opinion?
Well, what's interesting is that I refer to, and this is not intended to be disparaging, but because honestly, I think by and large, legislators work hard to accomplish what they believe is public policy that should be implemented. The difficulty I have is I refer to those that have never made a payroll or are not in an active business, running a business, hiring and firing employees that are accountable to them as embedded lobbyists. And we have them in a number of sectors of our economy, whether it would be public education or whether it be local government or whether it would be utilities, investor-owned utilities, whether it's other highly regulated industries that receive federal funding and have a lot of government oversight, the financial services area, and that covers a wide range of different types of financial services and sectors of that part of our economy. And as a lawyer, I am supposed to have a fiduciary duty to my clients, which means the utmost duty of loyalty and good faith. And that's how I approach my legislative work. The difficulty is that when you're earning a paycheck for 12 months out of the year, I don't know how even the best intentioned person cannot be influenced by their own situation, their own circumstances when they are sponsoring and voting on bills that affect their employer. And so I tend to scrutinize legislation that is sponsored. For example, I'll just use an example. An employee of an investor-owned utility who is paid as an economic development person sponsors a bill to give 50 years of sales and use tax exemptions for data centers, which are going to be customers of the utility. I have a problem with that. And we can talk about ethics and our our lack of really transparency in government. We have some really obvious prohibitions on conflicts of interest, but there's a ton of loopholes that allow legislators to directly or indirectly benefit from legislation, and I have a problem with that, and I'd like to change that.
Yes, that seems quite alarming.
It is, well, it is alarming.
Yes.
Yeah, it is alarming, and it's disheartening to present legislation when you have committee members or even chairs of committee that are employed by interests that stand to lose or stand to have more regulation or more transparency for the public. So yeah, I've experienced that firsthand, and you deal with it, but we need to we need to heighten and strengthen our laws on conflicts of interest for legislators.
Yes, and I would certainly agree with that,
Yeah.
as also a legislator at the present time. And I feel like there is this movement towards this like corporate welfare, right? And that movement is, what about the voice of the people?
Yeah.
I feel like they don't have a seat at the table.
Well, and that may lead us into another topic that.
Perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. Absolutely. The people are underrepresented, and it takes legislators a very strong backbone to say no.
Correct. Yes. So that is a great segue into our next question. So voters lack readily accessible information on how their legislators are voting. Many people have been bringing this concern forward, and they're concerned about what their legislators are sponsoring as well. Do you have any guidance to the people of South Dakota regarding that?
Well, I will say that one of the things that has surprised me is that voters lack readily accessible information on how their legislators are actually voting and what legislation they are sponsoring. And I introduced a bill with Senator Greg Blanc last session that would take our Legislative Research Council, which works for the legislature, and require them to make a readily accessible, easy to view pull-down tab for each legislator that would show every vote in committee, every vote on the floor, on every bill,
Yes.
and also would clearly identify the bills that they are sponsoring. And that bill went to Senate State Affairs, and I thought, why would this be a problem?
Exactly. It should be easy.
And it was killed by a vote of 8-1. And I'm going to give a shout out for Senator Kevin Jensen. He was the one that supported the bill, and 8 others voted to defer it to the 41st legislative day, which means basically there's never a 41st legislative day.
Exactly.
So that's where bills go to die.
die.
That's right. And you know that, Bobby.
Yes.
You know that very well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is this. We do have a website. It's www.southdakota, it's sdlegislature.gov. Go to that website. You can look up your legislators. You can see what bills they've sponsored. But you kind of have to have a particular bill number in mind before you can go and look and click on the bills, the legislation portion of the website, and then you can see how the bills have worked their way through committee or died in committee or gone to one of the floors or both floors.
Yeah.
And I wish people would do that, because we really, there's a lot going on in Pierre. It's kind of like the train is going to run, and you can either get on it or you can watch it go by. And if you watch it go by, you don't know where it's going. So, but there are 2 other websites, Legiscan and Ballotpedia. Those are good websites that can examine legislative voting records. They're free, and so I would recommend for people to do that.
Absolutely, and we can go ahead and we can put those links down below in the description section. Really quick, let's go ahead and let's talk about some education.
Okay.
Because everybody's interested in education
Sure.
in the state of South Dakota. And let's talk about the public legislation of that. What do you think about the most recent literacy and proficiency data?
Well, they're disturbing. The legislative committee that provides accountability and oversight heard a report from our Secretary of Education, Graves, and they used some pretty strong adjectives to characterize their disappointment in the numbers. But first of all, I want to say I love public education. The reason I do is I love our kids. And I care about the kids. I care much less about the institutions, the public education institutions. I care deeply about the children left behind. And there are some of us that kind of get, I think, a short end of the stick from those interested in public education, because when we question the outcomes and we suggest being transparent and kind of putting our egos aside and sitting down and acknowledging what reality is, we can sometimes be pushed into the anti-public education box or something. And it's really interesting how personally, in my experience, the public education lobby, in Pierre at least, takes those legislators that are really concerned that we are spending basically a combined about $1.57 billion annually in South Dakota for K through 12 school. Local property taxes contribute about $954 million. The South Dakota state government contributes around $700 to $800 million. Secretary Graves said it was close to $1 billion. And of course, we're always dealing with 1 or 2 year old numbers.
Correct.
But here's the problem we have. During the 2024-25 school year, which really is your question,
Yes.
less than 45% of students tested proficient in English and language arts, and less than 42% of our 8th graders tested proficient in math.
That's half.
It's terrible.
It's more than
so
half.
If we always talk about ROI, return on investment, but if you look at what we're spending, over $1 billion, and actually once you add in the federal dollars, you're over the $2 billion mark in South Dakota. I think there's around $400 million that comes from the federal government. And again, we're always dealing with 1 and 2 year old stats. But more so, we're losing teachers every year. Now, and I will talk about the teachers we're losing. They're primarily the K to 5 teachers, kindergarten to 5th grade. And they're leaving not because of pay, even though it's low, and it's nationally low, but they're leaving because they cannot control their classrooms. That's the feedback we get. Younger and younger children are having behavioral problems, and we passed a bill to basically allow severe behavioral problem children to be removed from the classroom. And so, and here's the soft underside of this all, is that there's a strong correlation between literacy and incarceration in jails and prisons. And it's estimated that about 70% of incarcerated offenders cannot read above a 4th grade level. And so that feeds into this statistic where we have one of the highest recidivism rates in the nation, and that's incarcerated individuals that reoffend within 3 years of release. That's called recidivism. So what we would like to have is just an honest, non-blaming, non-finger-pointing dialogue. And let's look at Mississippi. It's called the Mississippi Miracle. And they have literally skyrocketed from near last place in outcomes, reading and math scores, to national top-tier status, even though it's a state with high poverty.
Yes,
far more than
I
we
read
have.
that. Yes,
And
I read
you
that.
see, and you know that, Bobby, and in many ways, I could be questioning you and you could be answering the questions, but they have carried out a monumental shift to the science of reading using phonics. I learned to read from phonics.
I learned phonics too.
See, my mother taught me when the new math at Washington grade school in Huron, I couldn't figure it out. My mother taught me her math that she learned at Austin, in the Austin school system in Chicago. So I still do old math because my mother taught me how to do long division.
So did my dad.
See, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. My dad, he's a really big math guy. He was a controller at Eggland Co-op in Parkson, South Dakota. And
Wow.
when he could tolerate me with math, because I'm not that good at math, but he was like, there's 5 ways to get to this answer. I said, no, there's only one way. He's like, no, there's 5 ways. And he showed me those 5 ways. So yes,
Wow.
I get it. Long division. Totally.
And parents sometimes have to fill in the gap.
Yeah, they do, yes.
And the problem is that we know that the family is in a challenging posture
Yes.
today, everywhere. And
Yes.
South Dakota is no
Yes.
exception. And
Yes.
frankly, the problem is that literacy and lack of ability to engage our society and culture and deal successfully with all the challenges becomes a problem. So this is what we need. We need some kind of transformative education, and Mississippi uses a targeted intervention where they employ literacy and math coaches directly into the lowest performing schools, and they emphasize screening on children to catch struggles early. And so I believe that most of our incarcerated individuals in South Dakota cannot read at the 4th grade level. So think about that. Where do you go?
Yeah.
And George Washington and our founders talked about a primary objective. This is Washington's farewell address. A primary object should be the education of our youth in the science of government. In a republic, what species of knowledge can be equally important, and what more duty pressing than communicating it to those who are trying to be the future guardians of the liberties of our country? Wow. And this is, more than 250 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I know John Adams had some amazing things about how he studied warfare, for example.
Well, I believe civics is definitely in the forefront of what our children, need to be involved in, because government affects, back then,
Yes.
Government limited.
Right.
It was supposed to be limited.
Right.
It affects every area of our life right now. And so if we and also our children are not well read on civics and government, then I believe they are lacking in information.
Well, and I want to share, I think, because it's so close to what we're talking about. There's a very well-known, very good at his work. I would call him an executive director, CEO of a helping institution that deals with young people that have challenges up to age 18. And we were talking in peer during one of those rare breaks you get when you're actually going from committee to floor to caucus and back.
Rare.
And he told me, he said, John, one of the big problems I see in our culture is that we are not teaching life skills to our kids.
Yes.
They aren't learning how to balance a checkbook, to budget, to apply for a credit card, to buy a car, to buy a home. I had many of those classes when I was in high school.
Yes.
It was called distributive education.
Yes.
Do you remember that, Bobby?
Yes, distributive education and home ec.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yes.
And they were trying to move away even then from
Home
the phrase home
economics.
economics.
Yes.
But I learned how to balance a checkbook. We learned how to budget. We learned about the cautions of being in debt. I learned how to cook in chef's training.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, and the problem is that the public education sector of our state is the highest educated group of people, bar none. And so what we really want to do is engage those incredibly intelligent, devoted, I know teachers love their kids.
Absolutely.
School administrators that I interact with,
Yes.
I know they're taking their job so seriously, but we all need to at some point sit down and say, let's talk. Remember Joan Rivers? Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Let's just get it on the table.
Yes, absolutely.
And let's talk about different ways forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to give our children the tools that they need in order to move forward in society.
Yeah.
Whether those be practical skills or skills of intellect,
Right.
whatever it may be. They have to be armed with that.
Do you want to talk about lobbyists?
Yes.
Can we do that?
Let's go ahead and let's move to lobbyists, of course.
One of the big surprises
Yeah.
when you go to Pier, there's all these people
Yeah.
with badges around
Yes.
their necks.
Yes.
And many of them have multiple ID cards
Yes.
because they represent a number of different groups that are employing them to influence legislation. And I mean, honestly, we all know that lobbyists influence legislation.
We
They
do.
either want to represent their interests, the interests of their person that hires them, to maintain the status quo, or they want to change things in their favor. And being value neutral, that's just how it works. So when you go to Pier, after you go door to door in District 13, and you knock on, I don't know, 800 doors, and you talk to all these people and you hear all their concerns, and property tax was huge.
It was huge.
And it stayed huge.
Yes.
And largely public education is the beneficiary of property tax. So what happens then is you go out to Pier, and all of a sudden there are these people that they didn't donate to your campaign. They didn't vote for you,
Right.
and yet they have physical access to you out in Pier for 38 days of session. And there are some really good lobbyists.
Absolutely. I
There
will
are-
say everybody knew. Everybody knew me on the floor. I was there at 7 a.m. and those
You were.
lobbyists, I love talking to them.
Well,
but that's me.
we're wired a little differently.
We are wired. That's okay.
because
That's okay.
Frequently, I would wait till maybe a half hour before the 2 minutes before session starts.
Sure.
So they couldn't come on the floor anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this, it's that I was just really surprised that we have lobbyists that are state and local government, public education, those are all taxpayer supported.
Yes, correct.
School administrators have lobbyists.
Correct.
School boards have lobbyists. School districts have lobbyists.
Yeah.
And most of them are paid by public funds, taxpayer dollars. Then we have the energy and utility sector. The cost of lobbying is built into rate paying.
Correct.
Then we have local and state chambers of commerce. We have marijuana, gambling, various business associations, and economic development.
Correct.
And yet South Dakota law provides limited transparency, low reported spending,
Right.
broad exemptions that when you go to the lobbyist reports, many of them report zero or minimal expenditures because of the exemptions. So we do annual reporting, typically in July 1, off-season, is when lobbyists and their employers have to file expense reports. There are broad exemptions. Educating and informing officials on policy, meals, entertainment for immediate consumption are not reportable or fall under exemptions. So this is kind of what we deal with, is that the people aren't there. They can't afford to be there.
Right.
Who can take time off from work?
Exactly.
Right. And
I
so,
agree.
yeah, so we have basically three problems. We have the sheer number of lobbyists. There's over 10 for each legislator,
I believe it.
more than 10.
Yes.
About
yes.
1,400 lobbyists. Now picture this, folks. You're out in Pier, and you have 1,000 lobbyists that are privately employed, and 400 that are employed by the public, state, local government, school districts, and
Yep.
such.
Yep.
So you have the sheer number, you have a lack of disclosure, and voters are just left out of the equation. Unless you're mining the data on your legislators, and we're trying to help you with that, or you're involved in legislation. And I love the emails from my constituents.
Oh, so do I.
Love it.
I do too.
But we've got problems, folks. We've got a need to beef up our disclosure requirements. We need lobbyists, but you have to be careful of them too.
Correct.
And lobbyists that bend the truth don't survive too long.
You're right, they don't. And, I remember talking to several lobbyists, and it was like, they know that if you do something to mislead a
Right.
legislature, it's just really, really not good
Right.
look for you.
It's not a good look.
No.
But on the other hand, too, where you have powerful sectors of the economy, powerful business interests,
Yes,
they carry a lot of influence.
they do.
And when you have legislators that are associated with those interests, then it makes it more difficult to truly protect the public, protect our rights,
Yes,
work for limited government. Yeah.
I agree.
So-
I agree completely. Well, thank you so much for that. But I would like to move into economic development. We've got about 5, 6, 7 minutes
Oh,
right
goodness,
around there
that's it?
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it.
Okay.
So South Dakota says it's open for business, right? But some people feel we are ignoring the needs of our young people and our families. So what are your thoughts?
Oh, goodness sakes. Do I ever agree with that? Well, first of all, the greatest economic development tool that we could ever devise for our state would be to ensure that every child has the same opportunity to learn.
Oh, opportunity.
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 And that means maybe the Mississippi model we talked about. I mean, and this is where it's 40% of our incarcerated individuals are native. And we all know the challenges that we have with our 9 Native American tribes and their reservations. So education is the only way to change the downward trajectory. Now, that being said, we have full employment in South Dakota.
Yes, we do.
I believe in April, our unemployment rate was 1.8%.
Yeah,
It's ticked up slightly to 2%. Okay,
Yeah.
so every time I hear somebody say,
minuscule.
we need to bring new industries and large employers to South Dakota, I'm like, where's the workforce coming from, folks?
right.
And so we spend, well, my goodness sakes, and I'll talk about it more, we spend millions, tens of millions of dollars on future fund grants, economic development, low interest loans, millions. And we've had some real stinkers, with shrimp this, whatever the shrimp deal was.
Yes.
We've had Gear Up, and we've had the HB5 program.
Yes.
We've lost tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money. So
Right.
now, my wife and I bought our first home when I was 27 in Sioux Falls. Actually, you know what? Prior to that, we bought a home in Omaha when I was probably 26. And then we moved here less than a year later. But the bottom line is now, the median age of a first-time home buyer in South Dakota is 40.
Yes.
40 years old. Only 21% of home buyers are first-time buyers. This is creating a great divide. My boys were all in their 30s, and they all look at baby boomers as a group,
Yes.
as suspect, because we are living a standard of living that is they view as beyond what they will be able to achieve. So, repeat home buyers pay cash because they have equity and they have money.
Yes.
8% of first-time home buyers pay cash. So what we're doing basically is that we're leaving probably now currently 2 generations behind. Now contrast this, that in 2023, our prior governor successfully moved a bill through the legislature making $200 million available for housing infrastructure. $150 million in state funds, $50 million in COVID relief funds. Now, I would argue that that's akin to socialism. It's directly influencing the decisions that developers will make about what kind of property they will build, and what they've been building
Correct.
is high density, large apartment complexes.
Complexes, yes.
Now,
I've seen a lot of.
there's an explosion in Sioux Falls of multifamily apartment building construction. We've had thousands. I think one year, a couple years ago, you can go online and look at the building permits. We have a few hundred single-family homes, and many of those are high-end. We have 1,500 to 1,800 building permits for apartments, and our young people are left out because we don't have enough inventory of affordable single-family homes. So my question is, why can't, if we're going to use $200 million for housing infrastructure, why don't we issue bonds from the Housing Authority to help young people buy homes that will then incentivize our developers to build affordable single-family homes? Bobby, think of going to an apartment complex and trying to campaign for a public office. You've got an apartment complex in front of you with 200 units. How do you even get in there?
Right.
You can't.
No. I mean, when I was out knocking on doors, a lot of these apartment complexes have limited access.
Right.
So
I that sort of freaks me out. Our young people are losing. Our future rides on the feet of our children. When our children do not succeed and thrive in the long run, we do not either. So I just, I'm very happy to be, at the latter stages of my legal career. I'm not a politician. I, like you, we want to improve the life and the lifestyle of solid families. That's what we want.
Correct.
We want young people in homes.
Yes.
We want them to have kids. We want them to have good jobs. And when we advertise our state, we're open for business. Here's the mantra: we are low tax, low regulation. Well, I'm for both of those. We're low wage.
yes.
So I just don't think that I don't believe that our policies are directed toward the rising tide that lifts all boats. And big and shiny is fun, but we are pouring tens of millions of dollars into things that most people can't afford. Rents are high.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are many people that are very, very concerned with people coming into the state of South Dakota that are actually, and I'm not, pointing at any one group. I'm just saying that there is significant stressors on our infrastructure, whether it be through South Dakota Medicaid, whether it be through housing, whatever it is. It's like it adds more pressure on to the people who are paying taxes, and then they have to foot the bill for everything else, and their property taxes go up, whether it be through schools, whatever. I mean, it is, these opt-outs, I gotta be honest with you, are a little bit concerning for me at this point.
Well, we have forever opt-outs, and I was vice chair of the tax committee for both years, and one of the representatives introduced a bill to end perpetual opt-outs. The bill was killed.
Of course.
The tax committee killed it, and it's intensive lobbying from the public education sector and state and local governments, but primarily the education sector, that I really want to issue a wake-up call to people that lobby and try to maintain the status quo, or or worse yet, continue to increasingly fund the status quo, because they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over
again,
expecting
the same
a different result.
Or a different result, yes.
And so I want us to get off the high density residential housing dole. If you wonder another reason why there's such an abundance of apartment buildings, it's because most cities and counties have enacted what's called a discretionary tax formula, which gives property tax breaks. Now, this doesn't mean the rents go down, but property tax breaks to, let's see, commercial residential properties of 4 units or more. That's what we're doing. And so South Dakota needs to recognize that job creation is done by small business, not the state, not the federal government. We have to incentivize small business. We repealed our usury laws to bring banking and subprime credit card lending
Yes.
And usury. We repealed our usury laws. We repealed our laws prohibiting perpetual ownership of property to enable dynasty trusts.
Right.
We legalized gambling, which was sold as Deadwood historic gambling, which morphed into casinos everywhere.
Yes.
We've legalized medical marijuana.
Yes.
We came very close to allowing litigation as a business strategy to abuse eminent domain for CO2 pipelines. And now we have data centers coming online. And so I voted for the Data Center Bill of Rights, which was an excellent bill that passed and was signed by the governor. I carried a bill to prohibit non-disclosure agreements between data centers and government entities and officials, and that was killed. So it's you see.
I voted for it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so the lobbyists again, and they're doing their
It's
jobs.
important to have
They're-
transparency.
They're paid, but we just we need more transparency. But we literally have, when South Dakota is open for business, we have substantially changed our legal environment, our culture, our laws, our values, which are our public policy, to accommodate business. And I'm just not sure that we've gotten payback.
Exactly.
I mean, people aren't living better, they're living worse.
Yes.
20% inflation in the last 4 years. And so it's time for the people to win. I like to say that in Pierre.
Yeah.
Let's give the people a win.
Yeah. I got up on the floor and I talked about the people
And-
significantly and often.
And one of the great disappointments is that you won't be there.
Wow.
I'm hoping to be there, but I have a general election. But I'm hoping you run again. So,
Yes, well, we will see.
yeah.
But what is the phrase? Who is it? It's build it and they will come. Is that the natural?
Well, it doesn't work here.
No, the movie.
Oh, I know the movie, yeah.
Was it the natural? Is that what it was?
You know what?
Field of Dreams. Yes.
With Kevin Costner, yeah.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to
Thank
Jason.
you so much, Jason.
Yeah, we need cue cards.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Field of Dreams.
yeah,
And
Field of Dreams.
Of course, Jason, you would know.
Well, I think we put the cart before the horse with economic development in this
Yeah.
state, and the fact that our governor spent $10 million, on the South Dakota Works campaign, and we have full employment. See, I
Right.
could never understand that.
Yes. Yes.
Because the advertising for jobs is extensive everywhere. So
Yeah.
how do you fill that need unless you train people that live here
Yes.
and do a better job,
Yeah,
or you bring people in from out of state, which changes the culture.
it does.
And when you subsidize multifamily large apartments instead of single family homes, you affect the culture.
Yes.
And that's
I agree.
government doing that.
It's
There's
correct.
nothing free market. That's called government. I mean, honestly, it's not socialism, but it's allowing government to play a role that in our world, in our constitutional republic, government was never intended to do that.
Correct. They're placing themselves as a predicate to a thriving economy.
Yeah,
But when you do that,
yeah.
it's like, then where is that money going to come from? Well, it's going to come from the people.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Well, I want hard-nosed business people running our economic development. I don't want
I don't want
MBAs and marketers and branders and influencers. And at my stage in life, I realize the value of working with people that have acquired wisdom through good decisions and bad decisions
Right.
in running a business, a profession. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It all has to make sense economically.
Right.
And government should, I think, in South Dakota, we have a long history, starting with Governor Janklow, which he did some incredible things. Citibank was amazing.
Yes.
They had a daycare,
Oh,
a
yes.
free daycare,
Janklow was
which we could talk
fantastic.
about. And so what do we
Yes.
have now? We have a daycare crisis. And I believe it's because the people in charge have not insisted on the right concessions in order to come to South Dakota and take advantage of our low tax, low regulation, and
Yeah.
low wage environment.
Yes.
The people need to win.
The people do need to win, and that goes back to what I was talking about. You know, like, I don't know, like maybe we can be a little bit like Bill O'Reilly where the person behind the camera gets to have their comments. But yes, field of dreams. And so build it and they will come. It does not matter if it's positive or negative. Somebody's going to find a way around it, and somebody's going to find an opportunity within it.
And for people that say we need to cut the budget, I'd like to remind them 42% of our budget is federal tax dollars.
Yes.
South Dakota is a debtor state.
Yes, it is.
We get way more return in federal tax dollars. For example, look at California. I mean, we are, our surrounding states are much more self-sufficient than we are. And I ask myself, why? Why? Why is that? See, it's because we haven't had smart growth.
Right.
And we need strong education.
Yes, we do.
And we need safe communities.
Yes.
And we need thriving families.
Yes.
And that's my platform.
Absolutely. You know, thriving families, it's about, you know, usually what is the age between, you know, once you get out of college, 26 to 32, many people, not all, but many people are ready to get married. And it's like they want to start their family. They want to, but when there is a massive wall in front of them saying that, oh, a small 2-bedroom home is going to cost you $300,000 in Sioux Falls or close to that.
Right.
That's a deterrent. That's a deterrent.
Right. And we need to look at our tax system, and I've taken some heat for this. Just by saying this, I've taken some heat from several sectors of our economy that don't want it to ever change. But if we repealed all of our sales tax exemptions, we could eliminate property taxes. It's over $1 billion.
Yes.
And so that's another topic for another day.
And that's a topic I would like to talk about for another day.
We'll do that if God willing, and if you're available, I'd love to come back. And
yes.
I would say that, please, people, don't sit on the sidelines. You know, when the pipeline was looming with abusing eminent domain, and Amendment G to put abortion, unrestricted abortion, in our Constitution, and when our property tax levels were going through the roof, the highest in the state in Lincoln County, that's part of my district, I thought to myself, John, you got to get off the bench. You got to get involved. The stakes are too high. We literally, I think, are at, I know this is a tired old saying, but we literally are at an inflection point where things, I think, especially with our young people, if we don't get our act together as a state and as a government and create real opportunities for our young people, not just have a low wage paying job, but to have a real opportunity to own a home, have a family, raise your kids, we're going backwards.
Yes, I agree.
And as my boys remind me, Dad, someday we'll pick your nursing home.
Well,
and I'm like, no, I'll never go there.
Right. And honestly, that is the inception. That is why we're here. That is why SoDak Chat is here. You know, is to get this information out to the people. So thank you so much, Representative Hughes. So appreciate you being here. We hope you come back for a follow-up chat.
Thank you.
Do you have anything left to say, or would you like to close with anything?
Oh, I don't know. I'd love another visit.
Okay.
And again, smart growth, strong education, safe communities, and thriving families. And Representative Andera, as you are and will remain until the end of the year.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So now the people of South Dakota are aware of this information, anything that they needed to know from Representative Hughes to make an informed decision, whether you were in District 13 or not. So, Representative Hughes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care, South Dakota.
Good night.
Good night.